Good morning, everybody. This is COOLA from Rawstocks. We have another edition of our pre-market prep here. And good morning, good morning. So, an interesting thing. NVIDIA on the breakout, we talked about it yesterday. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. It makes no sense, but it is possible. So a quick shout out to our sponsors, Black Box Stocks and Gamma Edge. Without those guys, we would not be able to bring this content to you guys every single day. And if you are not a member of Rawstocks, you could join our free side, our paid side, doesn't matter. Join the Discord and you will get access to our pre-market prep prior to our post-market open recording release. So, what are we looking at today? Well, we might be seeing expansion in regards to things like semis. So we're going to take a look at that real quick. We're going to dive into the data. But before we do that, let's take a look at the macros real quick for today. Like we said, this week is a light week in regards to data. Today, this is at 1 o'clock Central. You're going to see FOMC meeting minutes come out. Generally speaking, this can move the market. This cannot move the market. We've seen it go both ways. I wouldn't count on any huge move there, but I do think it's something that you need to take in consideration that its release is at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So we do see at 9 o'clock, this is 30 minutes post open, that we see final wholesale inventories month over month. I think it's going to be really insightful on kind of how, businesses are preparing for, the demand here. So I think let's keep an eye on this as if we post another, if we post a negative inventory here, that'll be real insightful. Now, right now, it's currently set up to be negative 0.2. Previous was negative 0.3. So we're going to see kind of how this comes out in the shake here. But yeah, as of right now, does look like they have this forecasted for a pullback. All right, let's move on. I am going to need this right here. So let's go ahead and pull up the SPX on here. You can see yesterday that we had a close under our daily 4. Now, generally speaking, we look at this as a potential weakness and a potential pullback. Are we going to see that, or are we going to see a recovery over the top of it? Currently, right now, we are, I believe, let me double check. We are around opening above that range on the daily 4, but it's really about where it closes. Okay, so keep an eye where that is. If you guys are not taking advantage of trend box, a perfect example of this was on Monday, where you could see that VIX implied range here, which is top ceiling here, floor here, virtually showing you resistance and support. You can see how that came into play. The purple is the daily 4 level that is posted for the intraday, and then the gray is the VWAP on the day. So this is going to show you trend. This is free on TradingView if you're interested in getting this. This is under trend box on indicators, completely free. But you can see there was resistance into the daily 4 yesterday. Is this just a pullback before we see some type of distribution again to the upside? Let's dive into the data. Let's see what we're looking at. Full complex here, we're looking at 6,500. You're starting to see 6,190 start to kind of grow, but overall, it's expansion that is really dominant here. You can see some calls being sold in this area near 6,300, but the expansion target at 6,300 is what is most dominant. Now let's take a look at today. What are we looking at? It's a very much put down. It's not very much. It's somewhat neutral, but it is put dominated in regards to the open this morning. So we're right here near this level. 6,200 has a large draw to it, but there's not a lot of contracts today. This is a low contract day in regards to swings. And it really doesn't get better until we start to get to that Friday, which is generally what we see. Even with that being said, kind of that 6,100 level all the way down here has a decent draw towards it. So we're going to see if this we're going to monitor this over the next, 48 hours and see how that expands, if it does expand or shrinks. But I do think it's interesting to see that 6,100 level. That's kind of what I was pegging on a VIX play. But we'll see if we're going to even break 6,200. So low calls to the upside. Pretty decent draw towards that 6,200 level. We really thought we were going to get that yesterday, but not the case. So we're right in that transitional area. Spot price right here is where we're at. So 62.35 again is going to be that transitional area. That's what we saw yesterday. Let's pull up the intraday. We saw a couple levels right here. 62.35. I mentioned it if you follow me on X. 62.35 was a transitional area. We talked about it on the pre-market prep. Every time we got into 62.35, you were good for a short. I kept thinking we were going to get it. We even took a position in a spread based on potential 6,200 visit or a squeeze towards the top of our range at 62.65. It was ultimately a loser, but that's just the name of the game in regards to trading. It's about taking risk and knowing the reward can outweigh that. So it was a damn near 100% loss on that, but it was a small position. That's just the way it goes. And you gotta know when to fold them, and you gotta know when to hold them. And we talked about releasing it into the 62.35 visit. But I just kept thinking we're going to get that, and ultimately didn't get that. It held on SPY gamma levels. That's kind of what we were seeing. That gamma level near that 620 just continued to hold and continue to hold. And now today we're seeing a bit of a gap up, and we're going to see if we're right here near this 62.35 level, right? Spot price right here. Watch again. If 62.35 62.35 has got to be the short again. Okay. It has to be. I know we are in a decent level here in regards to a potential squeeze for distribution on Nvidia, but as of right now, SPX 62.35 is your pivot. Once you get over the top of this, you're going to see this thing likely start to really get heavy and start to move towards the upside and potentially try to fill that gap. So I'm not interested in shorting anything over the top of 62.35. I don't care. Key levels at 62.50. I don't care. I'm not shorting anything because people are going to be short at 62.35 again. If they get over it, it could absolutely create a squeeze. The range today's top side is 62.75. Low side is going to be 6,200. And we're sitting right smack in the middle as always, right? So will we get the expansion over 62.35 or not? But I think at under 62.35, you need to be short. I'm going to fix this real quick because this is annoying the hell out of me. All right, 62.35. This was the key level, and 62.50. It's not a key level anymore, so we're gonna delete this. 62.35 is your key level. You're short underneath this, looking for a press down towards 62.20 and all the way down towards 6,200. I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of move if we do break under 62.35 to see this thing bought up in this 62.20 range, clearly multiple times yesterday. But break underneath this, you're going to see a fast sell down, in my opinion, towards 6200, and likely see us actually move below that into that 6190 area. I think that's kind of what we were lined up with yesterday. You could see that the net delta starts to grow there in regards to positive, probably cash secured puts in that range. So watch for some type of swipe on the low if we do stay under 62.35 for the downside. But above this, we're looking for it to rise towards that 62.75 level. Let's look for confluence real quick on this here. So again, high side 625. Here, let me pull up the data real quick instead of just using the script. Let's see. All right, so full complex, again, call dominated, short time frame. This looks really, really nice and really bullish for a move for the gap fill. Okay, so I will be opening calls based on what I'm seeing here. Over 62.35. Absolutely. Try to, the idea here is that you would like to see this thing come and retest down in this range, 621 and into this 620 range, anywhere in this range, and looking to buy calls for the move to the upside based on SPX. Specifically in this range, this is our pivot point, 62.20 on SPX. You're really interested in buying this zone here for a move up here. Now, if it moves below here, know that 6,200 or 617.55 roughly is your probably your lowest zone that it's going to go. You're not going to, this would be, if it breaks below this level, you're going to see some type of flash sell towards 6,200, and then you're going to likely see a bounce from that level based on the gamma that we're seeing. Can this just move up? Absolutely. Watch that 62.35 level on SPX and see if it wants to get over that. If it does, you need to be cautious of a couple areas. Your opening range right here, or excuse me, your open here, and that will be around that 623.38 level. And you might have some sellers sitting right above the high of that day there at 624. But like I said, if we do get over the top of that, people are going to be short based on that 62.35 area. If we're below it, and if it does pop over the top of that, I expect us to squeeze towards the top of our range here. Absolutely. And especially if you start seeing NVIDIA move over the top of 160 with confidence, I'm without doubt to see this at pushing up to 625 as of right now. Let's further dive into this real quick. Let's go to NVIDIA. Now that we know that's kind of the catalyst for the day, we talked about this yesterday where potential gamma squeeze directional day over 160. Right now we're at 161. We're going to swipe the high here. Generally speaking, when we see highs like this, this is what we would consider a supply. And what that means is liquidity lays up here, right? So people are going to be selling into this at this range. People are selling, and this is where a lot of times you can see reversals based on pivots. Pivot here. So you got to know that those are your two zones of demand and supply here. But over 160 definitely creates some level of gamma squeeze possible. Let's take a look at the data. Let's see if it's still bullish as it was yesterday. And this is okay. So full complex here. Look at the net gex here, very bullish here. You know, you're starting to see expansion into 170, 175, and even 180 start to grow. How soon those are, you'd really have to dive into it. But as of right now, look at 7-11 here. You can see that it's a huge escalation over 160 towards that 170 level. are we going to be able to move over the top of this range and hold over it? Well, that's to be seen. I'm tending to lean towards the fact that you saw a copper increase. Talking about semis yesterday in regards to tariffs. I have to believe that they were prepared to sell this down. I just cannot see them ready to pay on this. And so I do not see that just yet, but as of everything that we see here, it does look bullish. So what we'll look for is a move over 160, a potential squeeze all the way up towards that 170 level. But you're going to see gamma still lies in the supply at 160. Demand is at 157. So what that means is at 157.50 here, down here, this is your transitional area. This would be bought up near this range. So can you short here? I mean, sure, you could short here based on this sweep here, but you're putting yourself at high levels of risk. I do think that we're at a pretty good chance of selling down from here and checking 160. But again, I would love to see maybe a little bit of consolidation here at 160 and see a move over the top of it. And you're going to stay long over 160 for a potential gamma squeeze directional day over 160 to push towards that 165 mark today. If we break below the 160 level here, watch for a move down towards 157. I think you can probably put that in the bank, at least towards that 158.28 level right here. This is going to be your out of the money consolidation range, and we'll see if this is going to make that move all the way down towards 157 under 160. That's my best bet, is that this is going to run it. You might even see, if this does sell like this, you might even see a slip below this and get into this 156 area before recovering or retesting 157 again. So this is only if we're below 160. I do not advise, it's never financial advice, but I never advise anybody to be short over the top of a potential gamma squeeze. Okay, doesn't make sense, and so would not do that. So let's fix our range here. Okay, we're at 157 to 160. Directional day over 160 could be likely. Okay, we could also see this. All right, so let's say we sell here and we could just chop here, guys, all day long and be a really nasty burn day. I think that has a probability as well. Okay, so over 160 you're long, under 160 you're short, and if it chops on you, you're gonna get burned a little bit. So don't make it a crazy bet, unless you see a good strong sell through 160, and then once you see that, short the retest for the expansion down towards 157. So if not, buy the dip on 160 and even into 157 if you're confident in that. I think there's nothing wrong with buying into 157, but your areas of buy are here and your areas of buy are here. Okay, moving on. Tesla, I'm catching a little bit of flack on this. I've talked about this a few times now. People really are disagreeing with me on the read here. And my read here is that we will likely visit 270 prior to making a move up towards that 360 area. I mean, this is all based on what I believe is data. It's always forever changing, but it is something that you need to monitor as it constantly changes. As of right now, 300 turns into your positive gamma. Let me pull up the visual here for everybody, and for myself as well. So when you look at the full complex here, you're starting to see the upside kind of shrink. People are into these 400s here, and this is actually bullish here based on what we're seeing. It's a pretty strong positive net gex here. I don't know when those expire. but that's pretty large. So if I had to guess, 718, maybe even into this 815. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. Oh no, I thought I clicked it. 815. Nope. Well, either way, 7-Eleven here, 290 to 320 is our range. So we virtually have this queued up here. So this is taking away my theory of a potential progressive move down towards that 280 level as the floor starts to rise here. 290, but get under 290, 280, and a little bit lower. 280 looks to be the support right now. You can see the net delta flip here. This will likely grow under 290, and you can see 270 expand as well. But very, very much neutral here, not a super, it's called dominated, but it's not super pressing. It means it's undecided here. 300 is your transitional area, so over 300, absolutely. We talked about this yesterday, where the move up towards 305, you would have resistance at 305 to the upside, and then I thought that we'd get a little bit of a sell down, and we got exactly what we forecasted yesterday. So looking at this now, watch 300 here as we open up near there. See if we get over the top of that. If we do, again, watch that move up towards these highs here, and maybe even sold on near this 307. So this is going to be an opening range here on Tesla. That 307 area looks to be that people are starting to sell calls. Is this people trying to escape? Potentially. Okay, potentially. They're looking to either protect themselves, or they think that this thing's going to continue down. But there is a lot of calls being sold up in this range here. I'm not super bullish on this. I think that most people are looking for this thing to kind of just bounce around right now. A lot of uncertainty, and people are selling, and taking up all of the premium. So as of right now, 300 is your transitional area, so move over the top of 300. It is a potential squeeze up towards that 307.5 area, 308, 307. Break through that, potential for a move all the way up towards the top side of our range at 320. I just don't like this data here, right? So this is people selling calls. I'm not super sold on the expansion up to 320, but the fact of the matter is over 300 shows support at 300, and this thing could likely make a strong move over towards that 307, 305 area. Maybe a little bit of a sell down, maybe even a revisit back to 300 before some type of expansion. But slip 300, get a rejection at 300, you might find yourselves moving down, especially if you get below yesterday's close at 297.5. Watch for another sell down towards this consolidation range. Usually if we have a consolidation range like this, just like this visit, it's usually bought up and retested. So bottom of our range here, no problem with buying to 290 for a retest at 297 or 300. But break below 290, this is going to create a spike in volatility, likely see 280 come the mark. But as of right now, 290 is the floor, and you're looking for this thing to try to break over 300 to move to the upside. Okay, so that is coverage on SPY, on NVIDIA, and on Tesla. I hope you guys found this useful. If you guys are interested in getting access to this prior to the recording release, make sure you join the Discord. You can join it at rawstocksllc.com. That is rawstocksllc.com. Links are in the bio. Make sure you guys are turning on your notifications, and make sure you're following us on X. And yeah, until next time, we'll catch you later. Thanks.